following?
It's following me.
Right.
Does that gadget follow the person?
Mhm.
You have to wear.
The lanyard.
Yeah, so there is some signal coming out of this. Probably give me some cancer or something.
Don't move so fast. Got to be smooth. Okay. I'm going to start the recording now. So
All right.
you can,
Okay.
You can edit whenever.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for coming by. My name is Celso Batalha. This gathering is being taped. So I have everything taped in case you want to reproduce some of these steps. So you can email me and then I can send the file to you. Rick is also taping, and as a token of appreciation for you to come by, we have a $1,000 gift certificate of Amazon.com, and you can grab with Rick before you walk out. And so basically, this presentation is not true, but is divided in 3 parts. So the first one, I would like to tell my experience with the free books. And when I mention my experience, I have also to share the experience of my classmates, my colleagues, because it's kind of a different. I've been using for physics a college book probably for 3 or 4 years. And then I stopped using it, and then I went back. And there is, from the part of us, professors, some resistance to change to a new format. And open sources, start to be developed and improved a lot in the last few years. But when I started, didn't have a lot of ancillaries to go with the book. And this is a major problem. You can adopt the book for free, but what do you do with homework, for instance? In STEM, we do need to provide homeworks, part of the course online. And that becomes something challenging because if you are trying to get a setting that is completely entirely free for the students, the homework should be free too. And the companies know that, and they have all these platforms like WebAssign, Mastering Physics, in the case of my field, Mastering Astronomy, and you pay, which means the student pay good money, and they have access not only to an awesome homework platform, but also they have access to the book, to the chapters book. When they go to do their homework, if the solution is not done, nicely, there is some online tutoring that come by and then help them. So the book that I was using didn't have all these facilities. And so my colleagues were not happy in making any change. So I went back to the traditional format, but 1.5 years ago, I said, okay, I'm going to go open source, and I'll try my best. So in my department, astronomy and physics, I'm the only one, and all my colleagues follow the old format, and which is very good. The books we are using, not me, but the books my colleagues use, they are fantastic, and the support the publisher provide, it's phenomenal. You have, for instance, in Ampere's law, for instance, physics, which is complicated. So you have homework, you have online tutoring, you have a portal with videos the publisher produce that explains in detail all the activities. So we don't have that much yet in the books that I'm using. But we try to make the difference in the classroom, and that's what we do. Especially since we moved to this building, our lab is over there, so it's easy to bring things in and have the students incorporating hands-on activities in the classroom. So I don't know your field, but that's what we try to do. Now, in my experience, if you try to make any change, I would recommend to do smoothly. And at least put a 3 semester, that's what I did, to make yourself comfortable. When I did this change, I decided to divide my Canvas course or Moodle at that time in units, and I was putting all the links to the chapter book myself, taking a long time, but I did that, together with the content or homework or any extra credit that I was envisioning. And anyway, so there is some work to be done, and I recommend to take some time. This is with respect to homework. There are companies, what's the name? Edfinity. We just had an online kind of a introduction to this company, which is serving primarily STEM right now. Edfinity, I think. Yes, I think that's what it is. And the homework platform they are suggesting will cost between $2 and $3 per student per semester. And I already initiate some sort of a campaign to, if you are using open source books, OpenStax primarily, and you need homework, the college should have some funding for the students not have to pay anything with homework. In my case, I went back to the old style. I give homework, series of problems, end of chapter books, say you solve it and bring to me and I check. And it's taking forever to get me checking all this homework to the point that I decided, okay, I cannot be taking papers home and grading everything. It's not working. I already feel myself like a dinosaur. Doing this type of interface with the students seems even worse. So then I decided to do something different and say, okay, now what you do, you take a picture of the homework after you complete and then upload in PDF format, and Canvas allows you to do that when you submit your homework. That's what I start doing. And it's going okay, but it takes some time to check all the homework. And students are doing fine. And then I realized that even my open source book, they're online, the homeworks are all solved somewhere. So I know some students, they try to do the homework as they should, but you have a lot of copying and editing, going along. So when you grade homework, you really don't know if the students are really just submitting and getting grades or learning something. These online platforms for homework, they are great because most of the numbers come in randomized, which means students can't copy solutions. They have to develop themselves. So, and Edfinity, for instance, I think that's what they do, and I'm looking forward to make use of this platform as long as we can get some funding. And more than anything else, you talk to students, see what the students say. In last year, I did a Survey Monkey, and I was going to bring, I realized they deleted all the data, and I did these questions with Shelley Blackman, and she helped me to kind of constrain the questions. And basically, I want to know if the students are, first of all, happy for not paying the book. Of course they are. Second, the main kind of a line of questions was, do you feel any difference using this book and using the traditional book? Either they say it's the same or slightly better because of these online hyperlinks the PDF file allows them to do, which a paper book would not. So usually the same or better. And another data I would like to retrieve, which I did not, is to determine if the students did better than the same course with traditional book. And I could only do that, for instance, if I'm teaching Physics 4A session 201, and another colleague is teaching Physics 4A session 202, and we submit the same exam. So I never was able to do that. But I would like to control and see if that's possible. But I did this survey mock, and the responses were, doesn't make any difference. And it's better because you don't spend money. But even if your book that you decide to choose is not fantastically great, there are several online places that you can go and get material to enhance and to make your course slightly spicy. I don't see a lot of you here in STEM. Serene is here. But in STEM, you have so many options. FET Colorado is one of my favorite. You can go for chemistry. Oh, Charles is there. I don't know if you know this site. You know, okay. Yes, this site has lots of simulations, and also you can allow students to collect data. And some of these simulations I use prior to the real lab. The students do simulation with material, and this is all free. They can develop circuits, for instance. I can pull that up somewhere here. We just did this one. And then they can just bring a battery, they bring the wire, and they bring a resistor, and they connect, they bring more wire, and they can put a light bulb. And if the connection is all good, so you have something going on. If the connection is not well done, oops, did I lose it? Yes, I did. I'm not gonna spend time with that, but just to say you have options that you can do besides the material in your book. This is for astronomy. It's fantastic. Has several animations and several simulations and coursework and lab work you can do with your students, class actions, all kind of things, and it's really demand. And for physics, Compadre is a good resource that has a little bit of astronomy. Most of it is physics. I don't know other areas. So just to say, in my experience, I'm completely there. And my major task now is to try to get funding for homework platform, which OpenStax. For instance, these books that I will show, several companies go around and try to provide the homework, but it's all paid. I use WebAssign. I use Sapling Learning that doesn't use the same problems, but they run in the same problem, and that is students have to pay. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the available books. So you might have seen OpenStax being mentioned here. So we have all type of options here, mathematics, science, social sciences, and the books are there. Now, how good are these books? Here's the thing. I have people saying, and some of my colleagues said, well, no, those books are written by authors that didn't make to the good publishers. And then I said, okay, since I have all of this here, put online, and I get some recognition. I heard that. I don't know if that is true, but I heard that. I also heard that they say, well, there's a lot of mistakes. Well, first edition, you're always going to find mistakes. And I do find mistakes, especially in solutions of homework. I'll give an example. I did, in my Physics 2B and Physics 4B class, I gave one problem that I took from the book. And coincidentally, those two problems I had put in homework. So the students knew it, right? So when I correct the exam, no one got, except one student, got the solution right. There was slightly wrong, and they all did the same mistake. And I said, okay, either there was a global cheating during the exam, or the source that provided the information was wrong. And then, sure enough, they came complaining, well, no, but this is right. I said, why is it right? Because here, it's right there. And then check, right, or Course Hero, that's another one. Both of them had the same solution. And I said, but it's wrong. It's a definition of terminal voltage and how to determine voltage doing integrals. They were wrong. And I explained, okay, that's why it's wrong. And what is worse, you guys are copying over the internet without checking. If you're not certain about something, I'm freaking paid to explain you and to talk to you. So that taught me something, that I should not copy a problem from the book without making major changes, because students might have seen the solution somewhere and it's not that correct. So OpenStax has a very interesting series of books. Another one that I learned to use a lot is Lumen Learning. Lumen Learning, let me open here. Has courses in basically everywhere and every single field. And one interesting aspect I use when I taught physics for C, there was 2 semesters ago, I used OpenStax, volume 3, and the narrative, the wording is kind of a heavy. And some of the content is between an upper division and our general education course with calculus. So I decided to look for options, and Lumen Learning has the same structure and sometimes the same figure, which means OpenStax and Lumen Learning has some sort of a connection, but better explained. So I don't know. You might want to check these options too, especially in your field, if there is interest. And just go ahead and Google, and you find all kind of open source material there. But books, as far as I know, I might be, I'm not an expert, OpenStax and Lumen Learning. Those are the 2 places I got lots of good things. Yes?
So when we do a search, we just put in OER books, is that?
OER, your field, and open source, and see what comes up.
Okay, thank
you. Yeah. In my course, I have a few books in astronomy that are free in specific field. There. Okay, first of all, I'm not an expert in Canvas. So if you ask me the tough questions, I probably won't be able to answer. And I also am not a computer wizard. I can kind of navigate, and every time when I'm preparing my course, I find myself with the same questions I had 6 months before. And quite often, I find myself talking to Nazreen and say, Nazreen, I think I already asked you this, but, and I ask it again. But I'm trying now to do 2 things, is using the books that I've chosen and bring material online, but not only that, but the course structure itself. So California Community College Online Education Initiative, they did the trick. They got all these OpenStax books, not Lumen Learning, but they got OpenStax books, and they organized in such a way, the only thing we do is to go there, take the book, and put in Canvas. And it's there to be used. Of course, you have to put your own information, your own bio in there. But it might take a few days with some IPAs in between, but you're gonna get your course all ready to go for the semester. And that's what I did. It took me probably a week. So that, okay, I'm happy with the final product. And what I would do is to show you how can you do that. And for that, I asked Nazreen just to create a fake shell here so we could play around. And that's what I will do. That's my part 2. And 2:16, so I see I'm good in time. So what do? You go to your course. And again, all these steps I'm taping, so if you want, I can send you the file. Of course, password is wrong. So, and then you find your course. And this is what Nazarene gave me. So here's your course, completely virgin. So there's nothing there. And then you go to here, import from Commons. Of course, it's not published, so there is nothing you're going to import there. So Commons is a place that you go to get open source stuff. You can get figures, you can get courses, you can get everything. And then on your search bar, you just type OpenStax, which is the publisher that from Rice University that has all these different books. And then hopefully, you'll find your book there. So calculus, biology, physics, American government. So let's say you want to do this now, and I asked Nazreen to put this in a computer laboratory and have you guys doing the downloads. No, let's not do that. Take too long. Okay, so you guys choose a course here. Which one you want to download? Let's choose one. Otherwise,
I got psychology because there's someone who's going to be teaching psychology.
psychology. So let's do. What is you have
It was all
psychology?
the way at the top.
What is psychology?
It was all the way at the top.
This one? No.
No,
All the way at
go
the
the
top.
other way.
Just go all the way to the top.
Go the other.
Trust me.
This one. This one?
Or the one that says undergraduate.
This one?
Third one down in that row.
Third one in the row, psychology. Okay. Now I'm taking my car to the mechanic and I hope the problem appears. Everything goes smoothly. Okay, so you find your course and then you click import. And then where do you want to import? So those are the courses I have there. This is the demo Nazreen opened to me. So technically, if you are a psychology professor, you are going to download the course to your psychology course, import. And I think it should be there, I think.
You've already started the report successfully.
Oh, poop, it's not there.
It says it's being imported.
I'm glad I have a computer guy here. So what do I do? Let me go back there.
You have to wait for it to finish importing.
Where did you see that?
Okay, if you went back to go back to your course.
OpenStax.
No, I mean your course.
Oh, my course?
Yeah.
Where all your courses are.
Go to the back of your dashboard and go to the OER demo. And right at the top, it had a message there that was saying,
Oh, I hope it's not going to take forever. Where is it?
it may have finished. Try looking at pages and see what it says there.
There is nothing there. I don't have a home.
It said it was important.
Can I do this step again? Assume that got. Let's look in the files, but let me do something here and be a little bit more patient. 31 megabytes. Gotta go there. Download. Oh, I saw something different now.
Wouldn't you wanna import into the course?
The download went to my computer. Import is supposed to import in the course.
There at the top where it says you have successfully started, please note that it may take a while.
Where are you reading? Oh yeah, right here.
Monday?
Rick, do we have pizzas?
I did.
That's Ben.
Oh, Ben's not here.
We ate all the salad.
Oh, we did, huh?
Oh, you did?
I did.
Said so?
Yeah.
So we can access one that you've done for your physics or astronomy?
Yeah, we can. I mean, if all fails, let's go to my course. And then I show there is very little small changes that I did. You have successfully searching for blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's say that we go there and see if it happened.
Hey, congratulations.
Okay, now the course is there, and everything that is in yellow, you are supposed to change it, right? So you have your welcome message. Of course, you take this blue thing, take it away. You can or cannot, for instance, if you add it here, come on. We had a lot of backfire in technology today, huh? It's happening again. Let's go back. As I was saying, if you edit, okay, if you edit, you can change this figure here, right? I don't know what's going on. It's not cooperating. Let's just save. But, so you can edit, and for some reason not being able to edit now, but you can change the figure, you change this to your course, and you change the narrative here. Now, you have three hyperlinks to your course. In course overview is the syllabus. About your teacher is your bio. And if you are doing just online enhancement of your face-to-face course, you probably want to put your office hours and place where you go, and so on, so on, so on. If you do want, if you are teaching online course, is a mandate that you, in addition to that, you put your face-to-face or not face-to-face, but your online interaction hours right there. And in learning modules, it goes to your course instructor, basically. So if you navigate through course overview, it's going to take to your syllabus. And again, if you edit here, now it's working. No, it's not working. It's not editing for some reason.
Clicking inside there.
What?
Try clicking right where your cursor is right now, and just see what happens. I'm curious.
Right here in edit,
No, where it says, where the word sample version is, just click there.
click here. No, there's nothing. I have to edit.
But when you click there, I know what, okay,
Yeah. So, so here's your syllabus. In fact, I did my syllabus here, and when I had to send it to my dean, I just copied this and exported in PDF and attached it to the other two hyperlinks that I did the same with my bio and my module, my course instructor. Put that together, send to the dean. That's my syllabus, my major things. But it gives your course instructor, so you have to copy and paste from your normal syllabus. And it's going to be done in such a way, the font is the recommended. Students taking courses, open source, professors might be doing the same. So if they swap from different colors, they will see the same structure. here and there. And your learning outcome is suggested to be there, course content, and the information about your book is already there. Students can click to view online, and if they view online, they will be taken to a page with all the possible hyperlinks to the different parts of the book. It's right there. And then if they know what's being done, they can choose and they can go ahead and read. Or they can download the entire book. That's a recommendation because avoid the use of internet. And with a PDF file, you can also do navigations in a book. In fact, the authors recommend that. You can also buy from OpenStax or from Amazon.com. And it's kind of affordable. Some students might prefer that.
How much did it say it was?
$38? $38?
Oh.
Yeah. And you can download an iBook, and I think some of them have Kindle versions. And then you have the accommodation part. You have to change to, our DSP information. And then here is everything that you have in your schedule. It's going to appear right there. And that is students can link and can go and do things.
Is that so?
Yeah.
Can you, where it has all of the chapters for the books, for the book?
Yes.
Can you tailor that and eliminate?
Yes. Yes, you
so
can.
that You're only covering 12 chapters?
Yes, I show you that. Yes, you can. So that is your bio. There is not a lot here. That's just a sample. And the third one is your learning module where you can tailor your course. So then you can make your choices here. Nazreen recommends always put a welcome. You have a welcome in your opening page, you have a welcome in your bio, and welcome in the landing page of your course. And then some of this information are supposed to be kept and is recommended, especially if you have an online course. But you don't need to. And more information about textbook and blah, blah, blah. You can, and then another welcome there. And then link to yourself. For instance, I took that away from here. Students will not see information about textbook. And then it comes your book itself. So here, which I did manually 1.5 or 2 years ago, is already here. So all the links or hyperlinks to the sections are there. And you can choose either to delete or not. And then chapter 2, and then you have your book all in there.
So if you were to eliminate a chapter, would it automatically put the chapters in the new order?
We can see it. Oh, you mean this numberation here?
I'm talking about an entire chapter.
Let me see. Oh, so if you go over here and delete this, right? Well, the chapter 1 is gone,
Yeah,
and then
okay, so-
chapter 2 is there.
Okay, I was just curious if it would now become the chapter 1 and moving that.
No,
But
it
I
doesn't.
get what it's doing, because it's still got to reflect
You
the
still
original,
have the book there.
original book,
Yeah.
okay?
And also this numeration here, you do it. For instance, I show in my course, I put a lot of little things here, and I have to remember that. And that is a recommendation from Nasreen, because when students communicate with you, they say, okay, you know, the 2.7 is not working, what's going on? And then they don't need to say much, usually cell phones, right? And they say, okay, dude, wait. Okay, so basically, so we saw the syllabus here, we saw your bio, the course module. So let me show you one of my course. Let's say the astronomy, is it astronomy? It's basically the same. So I put a black hole or a quasar, whatever that is, my welcome. And I didn't change this, put in syllabus, and teacher is funny in a college. So I think I have to work to change that. Didn't have much interest in doing. And then it goes to my syllabus. Rick took that picture. And then our learning outcomes, course content, I kept there from the course content. It's part of the book is the same. And then I copy and paste from my syllabus. So it's there. And then this is a project that I'm involved with Cal State called CalBridge. I put it there too. And this is my calendar. It's right there. It comes automatically if you are familiar with Canvas, you go to your assignments and then you populate whatever you're gonna do. So you have your homework, you have your midterms, you have your quizzes. And in a magic way, they all appear in there, organized by date, because you have to set your due date. So it's something you don't need to do it. So we saw the course description, my bio is here. Rick also took the picture. Office hours, methods of contact. This is mandatory in the online setting or by appointment and blah, blah, blah. And the last one is the module. And then let me show you how the module goes. So all those different kind of unit 0 type of information, I delete most of it. And I kept this important student tutorial because Nasreen wanted us to have that. And then I kept there. I don't know if any student do that, but that's what's recommended. And I have an orientation, which in the online is mandatory, and I have an assessment for the orientation that's also mandatory. And that's my unit 1, or unit 0. And then I was able in astronomy to organize units by SLOs. And then all this, what I have here is an introductory link to what's going to be the learning outcomes of the chapter book. And this is something that we are supposed to do if you have an online course. If you are face-to-face, you are not. But you have an introduction, and then she wanted you to specify the course content for the week or for the 2 days ahead. And then you have a link to your course materials. And in there, I put the chapter books or any other link to any animation or anything that might prove relevant for that content, or any video that I myself have created on the subject. One thing that I still have to work is captioning, and I'm kind of behind on that. So I still need a lot of work to do in captioning and make sure this technology here, I think, is going to improve a lot. And you have your mandatory assessments, the discussions, which is mandatory in online setting, and your midterms. And unit 2, 3, and 4. The students, in fact, they don't care for that. I find hard to believe the students go through. I talk to them, they say that they never do. What the students do is their to-do list. And because you can set their calendar for them to receive warnings when things are supposed to be closing. So that's where they look. That's where they know what's going on. And in the face-to-face setting, it's even easier because they are here, they know what's going to be closing, and they talk to you, and they are responsible in that way. And then just to finalize this part of organizing course, let me show you a physics for B, for instance. Again, the same thing, the same setting. And so this is a face-to-face course, but I took advantage and work, and I'm working, again, remember 3 semesters to improve. I initiated my face-to-face setting with the same, importing that I showed to you, but it's not as well organized as the online. See, I don't have numbered, I didn't number my assessments. So it's kind of difficult to communicate with the students, but it's face-to-face, they talk to me. But it's all there, and I have to improve that for following semester. So do you have any questions regarding this second part? Yes?
On the midterm in the imported course, where it says proctored midterm, is that?
Oh, this
proctored?
midterm is mine.
No, I mean the psychology course. Is it hooked up to proctorial that's offered by campus, or do the student have to?
You have to do yourself. Yes, I didn't look in we have proctorial. So when you set first of all, you have to go to Google, and then from Google, you call a quiz, and then in there is an option of extension proctorial, and then you enable that. So you have to do that in Chrome and in a quiz setting. And the quiz has to be graded. If it's just survey, it's not gonna go. And that is what some face-to-face students are not happy because they would like to do exams at home, and face-to-face is not allowed, only online courses.
I thought I saw there was a proctored one on the astronomy or not?
Yeah, because it's online.
It's all online.
Yeah.
And you're using Proctorio for that?
I use Proctorio, and I always have problems because I always have a student with they can't. They have Google Chrome, and they show me a picture. They have Google Chrome, and Proctorio is not working. And they did the previous midterm and worked fine. So, yeah, I don't understand.
Question?
Yes.
When you downloaded psychology, what do we expect to receive? What are you looking for?
You receive the OpenStax book
Okay.
that you have chosen as psychology. You have to choose an OpenStax book. This is only true for OpenStax book.
So you're downloading only the book.
Only the book. But when you download the book, it comes all the chapters organized and the places that you have to put your bio, that you have to put the pictures, everything is there in yellow, telling, hey guy, now you have to do your changes here.
You know, there are some places it was yellowish, you said you need to change this.
The green part, because say, hey professor, you have to work on this yellow thing now. And of course you erase that once you're done. But the good thing is all the font that is required for students with disability to read well, and is a state mandate to have proper font. You cannot use a lot of a bold face, and all these little details, it's all structured for you. You just go there and add your information. It makes it much easier. Yeah.
You also get the quizzes and the test banks and everything else with the book, yes?
No. I wish. This
Is that
ad,
quizzes there?
because I added.
In
No,
the
on
psychology
I thought I
one.
saw
Oh, the psychology? Oh, then I don't know.
Okay.
Then
Can you go
yeah.
back to
So
the
I have to.
psychology one? Would you mind going and clicking back on the
Yes.
psychology one? Because I had a question about the quizzes too. I was
Yes.
wondering,
Uh,
how that would work.
So we want to go to learning modules.
Quiz is on the left hand.
This is where we saw them, right?
Where was it? Oh,
Right there,
quiz.
right there.
Take a look at edit on that and see what.
Does this make sense?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm just
For
wondering
psychology?
if it's
I don't know.
out there. I'm just wondering about,
It might
people cheating, you know, being able to get this information
Okay,
ahead of time.
I have a self-test. My self-test is, I mean, I imported from books that I use, and if you go online, you get the answer there. Okay. Now, OpenStax, what they are trying to do now is to create a series of questions. They are not Chegg. Chegg has not put in the hand yet. So in astronomy they did, and so I'm adding some of these questions to my questions that I started to develop, but I stopped because now OpenStax had. But it's an extra work you have to do. Yeah. So that's what they say. If you have to put some work in the quizzes. That's for sure. Yeah. It's sort of a commitment. I mean, it's more a philosophical decision you have to make. Say, okay, this is good, and I want to work on that, and have to overcome some hurdles, I think. Yeah, Charles.
You can actually modify the questions. When you go over to the question, there should be an edit.
Oh, yeah.
It'll
Yeah,
show
you
up and
can.
can
Yeah.
modify the questions itself or the answers to the.
I don't know where, but because this is preview, you can, but you can go to.
Question number 1 or number 2.
If you go to
In
quizzes,
the question itself.
or the question itself.
You can change the questions there.
Yeah, you can go on the here. You can manage your test banks.
Question banks, you can select.
Yeah, so you have 80 questions. You can create your quiz out of a sample of those 80, and then you save some for exams, and put some of those just to make sure the students, okay, I will do myself. That's what I did. So I have some that I use for exams. Okay. Any question on that part? Okay, the third part that I would, I think I have time, that I would like to share with you, and I think that's what Nazreen wanted me to show too, is the use of outcomes for SLO. Who loves SLO here to do assessments?
And I'm on the SLO committee, SLO assessment committee, and you didn't see my hand go up.
Here's the problem. I have a hard time in physics to collect this assessment. And there is years ago we decided to say, okay, if somebody passed physics in Evergreen, they have to be able to do this, and that. And then we create an assessment, right? Very few professors, a few exceptions, Srini was also always supported, would return with the results. And when they start submit this assessment to their students, they say, oh, okay, this is an SLO. Students would do anything, and which means physics was having scores of 30, 40%, which means guesswork. And then I said, okay, forget it, it's not working. And some professors would say, well, but they really don't emphasize this thing here. Okay, but it's part of the SLO. Yeah, but they use a different narrative. Okay, you're right. So then we decided to do something different, and that is, okay, now you have your midterm, right? So select some questions and do your SLO assessment. Now the skills is different. They forget about SLOs. They give it the midterms, they grade, spend the weekend, doing the grade, and then they are so happy when it's done, they forget about collecting the statistics, and then we don't have that result. So in Canvas, there is an option here that's called outcomes. I don't know if you guys use that or see that. I'm using this semester, which means I'm not an expert, but I'm using and I'm seeing results. and that's why I want to share. So first of all, outcomes is here, right? And it's kind of in this grayish area. So you have to make sure it's not. And to do that, you go to your settings, and then you go to navigation, and then you find the outcome that should be here in the gray part, and then you move it up. By the way, I kind of did that before. And then you save. And then your outcome is not in the gray area anymore, somewhere here. It's right there. Okay, so now you have your outcome there, and then you click on it. And then what you do, you copy and paste your SLOs, put it there. SLO 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, that you have in your course. And I don't know exactly what those are, but I know what this outcome does for you. So you click here, and now you have to create some sort of a rubric. And how simple is it? Right? That's very simple. I don't need to write a lot of things. Say, okay, mixing. So I scale to 0 to 10 because I can basically do any assessment, could be lab, could be anything, any scale from 0 to 10. If my exam is, let's say, 25 points, I can scale that to the grades to 10, and then I can see where the student is inserted. So, for instance, 0 is not there, contact student needs significant improvement, and go all the way to 10, exceeds expectation. And I put, okay, 7.5, I'm happy. Why did I put 7.5? Because in all these SLO trainings that I saw, people seem to be happy with 7.5. So 7.5 is there. So if you get those grades, I'm happy with it. And then that's it. And then you save it, and then you do the same for all the SLOs. So that's the first thing you do. In fact, the second thing. So the first one is your outcome, the second is your rubric, and the third one is going back to settings. Now you navigate all the way to feature options right here. See this learning mastering gradebook, you have to enable that. As default condition, it's enabled, and then you can't do anything with it. So you have it done, and the next thing you do, you do your exam, and then let me show you how that goes. So midterm number 1. So I have a midterm number 1 out of 100. Those are the grades. So once you punch the grades there, have to do manually because oh, in this case was not manually, was in fact online quiz. So when you click over here, you can, now it's showing show rubric. But when you do the first time, there is an option which is add rubric. And when you add rubric, now it's going to be show rubric. But when you add rubric, and I will do it right here. What you do, okay, I don't want to mess this up, otherwise I will have let me go to another course that I might not have that. So if it's for B, let me get some assessment. Let's see one that is in the future. For instance, homework, just this quiz over here. So it's not a quiz, sorry. Oh, there you go, add a rubric. So what you do when you add a rubric, either you can go to find a rubric or find an outcome. You don't need this because this is silly. So find an outcome, and then it's going to take you to your SLOs. And then let's say this exam or this lab activity or this essay that you gave to your student has directly relation to one of your SLOs. You click on it, and then you import. And then you can choose to use the rubric to grade that assessment. If you choose that, it's going to go to your normal grade book, and then it's going to be part of your overall student grade. But if you just want to comply with Evergreen and make your department chair or so happy, you don't click that box, and then you create your rubric. And when you go to grade the assessment, for instance, the student got in this quiz or in this midterm, he got a grade, let's say 2.4, let's say. And then you go to your rubric, and then you see where the 2.4 falls. I don't know, 2.4 is, if you are in a good mood, you put 2 or 3, depends on how you scale your rubric, and save. That's it. And what is the outcome of this? So let me show you. When you go to the grades, I mean, if you choose not to affect your grades with that particular assessment, I mean, the grades will be the same, no change. But then you have this option here, Learning Mastery. And then your SLOs are there. Your grades are there, your statistics there. So in SLO number 5, your students are 3.11 out of 3. And then you take the average, convert to 7.5 or so. This is not astronomy. That's a different one. But you can convert to a scale of 0 to 10 or 0 to 100, and you count the number of students. By the way, I might assume but some of them, and then you are done with SLO. So if somebody mail you, hey, I need for tonight, no problem, it's all there. Okay. So that's it, and I'm done. Any question on that one?
Thank you, Setsu.
Okay, all right. If you wanna all these steps, just email me. Rick will have the file ready to go.
No, but you're all my witness that I was here. Thank you very much.
Was there a sign-in sheet?